Hello and welcome to Soul Sensations here on Soul Radio USA. Today I am privileged to be interviewing singer, songwriter and bass guitarist of the Commodores, Ronald La Pread. Hello, Ronald.
Hello, Steve. How are you?
I'm good. I did pronounce your surname properly, didn't I?
You did. Close enough. La Pread. Close enough.
La Pread.
Yeah.
Right. Would you rather me call you Ronald or Ron?
It doesn't matter. I'll know you're talking
All right.
to me. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, right? Let's start from the beginnings. Alabama. Tell me about your childhood. Yeah.
Wow. Well, my granddaddy had 3 daughters, and two of the daughters had 5 kids, and my mother had 4. But we all grew up together in the same little 3-bedroom home at my grandfather's house on his farm. He had a 350-acre farm, and he had 10 boys to help him work on it, So, we grew up picking cotton, planting watermelon, doing sugar cane, doing black-eyed peas, tomatoes, watermelon, cucumber. We did all that.
So, how did the music interest come into it? Because I know you started playing the guitar and the trumpet at a very early age.
Yeah, it was a real funny thing. When I was younger, like 12, 13 years old, a friend of my mother's friend's son had a band, and he had booked a performance, and he told him that he had a full rhythm section. He had a piano, bass, drum, guitar, and singer, but he didn't have a piano player. So he asked me to sit behind the piano so that it would look like he had a piano player doing the gig and he could get paid. And I sat back there. For about an hour and 45 minutes. Before that, my granddaddy was paying me 35 cents per 100 pounds of cotton that we had to pick. Everyone else in the family could pick 100 pounds of cotton every day. It would take me about 6 days to pick 100 pounds. And so that means I would work the whole week for 35 cents.
For 5 cents.
Yeah, so that was not good. I couldn't buy cookies and candy when I got to the store with all the other cousins. So I went to play this gig. I sat there for an hour and 45 minutes. And after that, he paid me $70, and I didn't know anything about music. So I said, okay, if I can get $75 for just sitting here, imagine what would happen if I knew how to play something and sit here. So that's how my quest began to learn music.
So what do you prefer? Do you prefer the guitar or do you prefer the trumpet?
My goodness. I played guitar a lot longer than I played trumpet. I played trumpet for all the brass instruments. I played that all through university and high school. But since then, I've spent 26 years playing bass, and bass is like my extra arm. I love the bass guitar.
So, who were your musical influences, inspirations when you were a child?
Wow, there were so many. We were in a town, Tuskegee is a real small town, population 12,000 when the university is in. So they had only one radio station, and the one radio station had to play everything. Country and western, gospel, rock and roll, soul music. So we heard everything. I used to like James Brown, bass player, and found out that was Bootsy Collins. And I loved Sly and the Family Stone, and that was Larry Graham and Grand Funk Railroad. I loved them. I thought they were just listening to them on the records and on the radio. I thought they were a 5 or 6 piece band, And then I went to see Grand Funk and Sly Family Stone play together, and Grand Funk Railroad was only 3 people. I said, "Whoa, they sure make a lot of noise."
For 3 people. So when did you actually start performing? Did you sing in high school with a group, or how did it start about? How did it come about?
Well, we had little talent shows at the school, and during that time, I would play piano for a couple of my friends. The thing sitting in the park by all those old songs, very simple, and then I got into a group after I was about 17. I got into a group, the Corvettes from Tuskegee, and we were one of the hottest bands. The only other hot band there was the Commodores, and but they weren't called the Commodores then. They were called the Jays, and I played the keyboard with the Corvette, and when Richie and McClary came to me and asked me if I knew a bass player, because their bass player was being drafted into the Army to the Vietnam War, I told them then that I'm a bass player. I said, I'm the bass player. I'm the baddest bass player in Tuskegee. And they said, okay, come to rehearsal on Sunday. And this was like Tuesday. Wednesday and Thursday, I practiced the bass guitar with some records so that I could try and learn the part. And then when we got to rehearsal on Sunday, I was scared to death because I thought they were going to bring me some music and say, this is what we're going to play.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They brought a record. And they say, this is what we're going to play. So all I had to do was listen and learn.
Yeah.
And it's history since then. Everything else I made up myself. Yep.
So, like, the Commodores formed in 68, is that correct? And you joined in 1970. Is that right?
That's right. They started in 68. In 70, I joined because the bass player got drafted. Bass player, the drummer, and the other saxophonist got drafted into the Army because they were finishing university, and they had a mandatory draft in America. You know, if you finished school and you weren't in school, then you had to go. You had to go to service. I didn't do that.
The Commodores were actually 2 bands, weren't they? Was it the Mystiques and the Jays? Because it was the Mystiques, Lionel Richie's band.
The Mystics were. That was how they started. The guitar player Richie, Marlon Williams, and Andre Callahan. They started as the Mystics, and then they got rid of the Mystics and they went to the Jays because they took on some female singers and male singers like a show. You know, they took on that, and they had a group called the DuPonts that were men singing, and in the group the DuPonts was the DJ Tom Joyner.
All right.
Tom Joyner is from Tuskegee, and he played with us when we began. Yeah. So you know, we go all the way back.
All the way back. Now, we've spoke about your you playing the trumpet and the piano and the bass guitar. When and how did the songwriting come into it? Excuse me.
Well, we were with Motown for quite a while. Like a year and a half. And what they did was Motown had a production line. They had their writers, they had their musicians, they had their producers. And what they did was they write the songs and then they bring the groups in and put them on those songs. And we kept telling Barry Gordy, no, we want to do our own. We want to play the music and we want to do our own stuff. And he was telling us that you country boys from Alabama, never saw a studio. So you know you don't know how to do that. We'll try.
Yeah.
So he put us through his assembly line of Edwin Starr,
Yeah.
all of the producers, that he had on his staff, and they were trying to write songs for us, but nothing ever worked. And one day Barry Gordy said, okay, Commodores, you go in the studio, you do what you want to do, and we'll see what happens. And we went into the studio, and we did a song, Machine Gun, by Mylon Williams, the keyboard player. He came up with that, and we went in, and we recorded it, and we mixed it, and we left California and went back to Alabama, and we were on our way to University of Alabama to play some kind of a gig for a fraternity or something. And right in the middle of nowhere, we were listening to the radio. It wasn't our radio station. We were listening, and we heard Machine Gun come across the radio. I mean, we were out in the middle of no place. We like to wreck the van. We were out dancing on the side of the street. We were just stupid. Yeah. And then we saw after maybe 6 months, we saw Mylon start to make more money because he was writing songs and getting royalties. So that started a healthy competition in the group. Yeah. Richie started writing, Tommy started writing, I started writing, Mylon had been writing, so I mean,
I've got a question for you. Now, I know you've wrote at least 3 tracks that I know of. There's Too Hot to Trot. One of my all-time favorites, you wrote Zoom. I love that track. And you've got the massive hit Brick House. Yeah. Yeah. Where did you get the inspiration for Brick House, and what came about from? How did you get together to write the lyrics for that?
Wow, we were at Tuskegee Institute University rehearsing, and every time we would rehearse, all of the students would come around. They would come around. They'd be sitting outside, listening through the window and watching to see what we were doing, and we were playing moderate tempo songs, and I said, okay, let's try this. At that time, I think the number 1 song in the nation was Fire, Ohio Players. I think that was the number 1 song, something like that. And I said, we need something like that. And started out on the bass. And we did the bass. Guitar player fell in, keyboard player fell in. We sat down and wrote the words to it. It took us about 45 minutes to finish it, and we put it in the corner and forgot about it. Put it in the corner, forgot about it. Did the whole album, finished the thing, and we listened to the album. And at the end of that, we thought about the song. We took it out, we put it on the tape recorder, and it started to play. Yeah. And it just took everybody by surprise.
Oh, it was different, shall I say, for a time. And I think that's what made it give massive hit. Absolutely brilliant.
Yep, and to this day, when I hear Brick House, I think it's so simple. I don't know why everybody is so, they just get ramped up for that. But I love it, but I can't see what's special.
No, I think personally, on a personal view, it was different completely off the track from what Motown and what you normally performed. It was just like totally different.
Yeah, it was different.
Why I think
it was different. Yeah.
That's why it went so massive, I think. Right, I'll tell you what we're going to do now, Ronald. We're going to have a little break. Yeah. And we're going to play some of the music, including Brick House and my favourite track, Zoom. And we'll be back with you in around about 15 minutes' time. How's that sound?
Perfect.
Hello, and welcome back to part 2 of this exclusive interview here on Soul Sensations on Soul Radio USA with Ronald La Pread from the Commodores. Welcome back, Ronald.
Thank you, Steve. How are you? I'm back, ready to go.
Oh man, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Right, we spoke about the early days of you with the Commodores there. I've got a few more questions for you. Here's one for you. Now you've toured with loads and loads and loads of groups, and I think your first tour was with the Jacksons, because it was it the Jackson 5 that noticed you and brought you to Betty Guy's attention. Was that correct?
That was the one. We were, Benny Ashburn, our manager, knew Suzanne Dupaz, who had just gotten promoted to president of Motown. And she said to him, I got a group that's going out, and I want your boys to go with them on a tour. And in those days, we were so broke, we would have toured with Adam Ant. It didn't matter. and they said, we got a tour for you. And we went out. We went to Cape Cod, Massachusetts to rehearse. And we got up there, and there was no place to rehearse. So James Taylor gave us his barn to rehearse in. So we were rehearsing where Carole King and James Taylor did their music. I mean, fresh out of Alabama, our minds were blown. But we put the show together, and they said the first show was in Albany, New York. No one ever told us who it was. We got there. We got to Albany. There was 6 foot of snow on the ground. We creeped in, and we looked up. The billboard said, the marquee said, the Jackson 5 special guest, the Commodores. At that time, they had ABC, I Want You Back. They had all of those hit songs. And we walked on the stage to play the show before the Jackson 5 come out there, and there were 5 and 6 and 7-year-old little kids. They were not interested in seeing the Commodore.
No.
That was the hardest job that we had ever had. But we stuck with it. We stuck with it, and we toured with them for almost 5 years. Everywhere they went, they took the Commodores with them.
That would have been a massive, massive tour. Like, it would have been absolutely brilliant for you.
So
did you open up?
Yeah.
When you were on stage with them? Sorry, when you were on stage with them, did you open with Brick House or end with Brick House, or did you have? Did you just mix
At
it
that
up?
time, we didn't even have Brick House.
Oh right. No, you wouldn't. No.
That's right. At that time, we didn't even have a record. We were just a group from Alabama whose manager knew Suzanne Dupaz, and we would go to New York and we would put on a show. We would have everything planned and schemed from the beginning to the end. We knew what everybody was going to say. We knew when it was going to be said. We knew what happened after that. We had the routines. We had the costumes. We did everything. We just didn't want to be a band, you know. We didn't want to do that. We wanted to entertain, and we practiced. We got uniforms, and we did that choreography, and we were singing and playing and carrying on. And that's what the Jackson 5 were doing also. And when we got on tour, and believe you me, little 8-year-old Michael Jackson taught us a hell of a lesson. That little brother worked hard, and I mean he was good when he was 8 years old. When he got to be 18, he was great. So you know, Jackson 5, we owe it all to them because we learned how to deal with the crowd. We learned how to entertain and project off of the stage and to do all of that. They were really beneficial in our growth, you know.
Yeah, actually, you became a close friend of Michael, didn't you? Towards the last years, didn't you?
We toured together for 5 years. Every place they went, we went. And when we would check in the hotel, we would get the Commodores and the Jacksons would get the whole top floor. So and security wouldn't let any door be closed while we were up there. So
wow,
we were part of the family. We used to hit Michael in the face with water balloons and say, we didn't do it. We didn't do it.
Oh, man, you're right. I've been right wild time, to tell you. What the hell?
Oh, man,
what did you do last night? I hit Michael Jackson in the face with a water balloon. What did you do?
Oh man, it was something though, you know. And we got to be really close to the whole family, all the brothers, all the sisters. We would go play basketball with them when we were off. We would hang out. We'd do everything.
Yeah.
And then we started watching them come of age. And after doing that with them for 4 or 5 years, that 5th year, Machine Gun came out.
Yeah.
And then there was I Feel Sanctified, and then that was Slippery When Wet, and then we were off and running. We were off and running. It was.
You probably know this because I didn't know this. I just found it out today when I was sort of doing my bit of research. You was the second major band that Motown had, second to Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
And everybody fell below you. That is some achievement. So you had Stevie Wonder, the Commodores, and then everybody else. That's amazing.
Yeah, I remember once I had my family. I lived in New Zealand, and I had my kids and my wife, and we went to California, and we saw Motown offices. And they asked me, they said, do they know you in that building? Can we go in there and visit? And I said, oh, wow. I said, wow, don't make me go and ask somebody, can we come in? And we walked into the cafeteria where they served the food. And when we walked in, the very gorgeous secretary was in having lunch. She saw me. She said, come, Ronald, come upstairs, say hello to the chairman of the board. And the kids said, wow, do they know you? They know you, Dad? And when we got off the elevator, that was a 6-foot picture of me in front of the elevator that we got off. I said, well, I guess they know me. They see me every day. Yeah, but it was surprising, you know. We were just little small town boys from Alabama, and doing what we love to do.
Yeah. Now you left you actually left the Commodores in 1986. Is that correct?
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. When I started, I said, come hell or high water, rich or poor, when I'm 36 years old, I'm going to retire. And I missed it by a year. I retired when I was 37. And leave it to my wife. I haven't worked a day since then either. but it's all good. Yep.
Yeah. So now I think have you got a housing business of some sort now in New Zealand? Is that what you've got?
Well, I have an accommodation business. Yeah, I have boarding houses and apartments and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, during the time of now and you actually wrote songs for. Let me get this right. Jennifer Lopez in 2001. You also wrote tracks for Fabulous and Tamia. How did the track for Jennifer Lopez come about in 2001?
What happened was I wrote the song for the Commodores. And the Commodores said, okay, we'll take it and we'll just put it on an album and do that. But Jennifer Lopez heard it and she wanted to make a feature song out of it. So she did it. She recorded it. It also happened with Tamia, So Into You. There was one called Daisy Lady that I did for the Seventh Wonder, a group from Tuskegee that was taken up by Sugar Hill Gang, called that Ninth Wonder of the World. I did a lot of stuff. I worked with JJ, my best friend. My JJ, Taste the Honey, the bass player. She's a very dear friend. and we did Boogie Woogie together, and we did some other songs together. We around, and then I met Skyler Jett.
Yeah, I was going to say that. At this point, I would like to bring in another former member of the Commodores, Skyler Jett. He's been waiting in the background. Hello, Skyler.
How are you? How are things?
I'm good. It's brilliant. I thought you'd fell asleep there. He's been listening in.
It's brilliant. I'm learning a lot of stuff as I go along. What's happening, guys? Everything good?
Yeah.
Everything's great.
Now, what I want to know, now that I've got you both together, right, what are you two actually doing together at this moment? Tell me what the future brings.
Well, we just got out of prison, and the world's our oyster now. And no, man, I haven't seen Ronald in 20 years, and he's like my big brother and my mentor, and I lived with him in two places. I lived with him at his ranch in Alabama, and I also lived with him in Hollywood. And then he took off and went to New Zealand, and I hadn't seen him for many, many years. And then, so he just called me up and said, "Hey, Skyler, I'm gonna do a little holiday over in England, and I'm gonna come see you." And here we are. So since he's been here, man, I've been trying to keep it busy, even though it's his holiday. But I've been trying to mess that up.
I think you were in London together, weren't you? Because I was supposed to come down there and join you, but I couldn't make it.
Yeah, man. So we locking it up. I got him a TV program, and thank you for having him on your show. And,
oh man, no, he's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah. And then we're going to a buddy of mine. Her name is Sonique. Do you know Sonique? She's a big star, a dance.
Sonique, yes, yeah.
Yes, we're going to record a song Ronald and I writing called "The Power of Peace," and we're inviting this. He's nominated for the best rapper in Ghana. Ghana has 30 million people, and they're doing the Ghana Awards here on October 5th in London. And he's excited. He's going to get on the song with us, and he has a nice young crowd on Universal and stuff like that. So it's really cool to put old people and young people together on a record.
Oh yeah, sure. But what I want to know is there any chance, now you're going to shoot down flames here, of you and Ronald, right, getting together as a duet, writing a song and performing it, used to? Is there any chance of that happening in the future?
Oh, definitely.
We are definitely trying to do that. But
that would be so awesome.
The thing is, Skyler is so far away, or I'm too far away.
Yeah.
We have to do this thing. We have to do this thing over the internet, and that's not the same vibe,
you've got to be in the same studio to do it.
I like to smell the sweat. Yeah, I like to smell the sweat, so I know you're working.
Because you're in New Zealand now, aren't you? You're in Auckland. Yep. Is that correct, Ronald? And Skyler, you've moved from Glasgow down to London. Are you in London now, Skyler?
I moved from Edinburgh to London.
Edinburgh.
Well,
right.
I'm about an hour out of London, but it's all relative. It's a big place, and it's a lot of music here, and I'm enjoying it.
Oh, I bet you are. There is a lot of music here. It's been almost 25 years since I've been to London to just hang out in London. And this place has changed tremendously as far as the music is concerned. I mean, it has always been a place for music. Rolling Stone, Beatles, Joe Cocker, Rod Stewart, everybody,
the talent,
these were the people that inspired me when I was a child. And we were out competing with the Beatles. We were trying to compete with Elton John. And every time we got nominated for a Grammy, they won.
They won it. They
won it.
You were robbed. Right.
Yeah, but,
I'm going to re-vote them up. Re-vote them back up again. No, I was going to say we'll put your records back out there and re-vote you back up again and get some more awards. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna put some new stuff there. We're gonna put some new stuff there.
Now it's Motown 60. Are you doing anything for Motown 60? Are you coming across for the I think there's a gig in October, I think. Oh no, you're going back to Los Angeles, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going back to California. Yeah, and then from California I'll go back to Oakland. And yeah, if I'm always in contact with Richie. And if he's doing it, he'll try and get me to. Yeah, he'll ring me, and then I'll come over and we'll get together and do something.
Yeah. Now,
but
quick
Motown 60. Ooh.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
It's good. It's a long time because I remember I seen a small interview with you when it was Motown 25.
Yeah, that's right.
And to come all these years now, it's 60 years old. That is some main feat of musical business. Because
that is a feat.
To this,
yeah.
What I've seen, I stick by it. Music genres will pass and go. All right, they'll come in and they'll be there for a little while, then they'll disappear. But it sounds cliche this, but I'm going to say it: Motown's forever. And it'll still be going in another 20, 30, 40 years' time. I know it'll still be there.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm hoping so because I'm Motown.
Right.
Now, but all Motown. You know, everyone talks about old school music, and when you say old school music, that means to me music that actually comes from the soul, comes from the heart. It's not computer generated. It is not copied and pasted. Everything you hear in old school music, somebody played it. Somebody did it, you know, and that is amazing. The thing that surprised me about music when I was young, I was in a marching band. There were 120 people, and what would happen is you would have trumpets and saxophones and clarinets and xylophones and drums and tubas and everything, and they would get in a room and they would sit there and everybody's blowing, and all of these things that made all these funny sounds came out to be music.
Yeah.
And that used to just really intrigue me when you get 3 or 4 people together doing different things and it comes together and it turns into a lifelong memory, you know?
Yeah.
And you know what's really beautiful about that? It's all unplugged.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. That's right, Skyler. I don't know.
It's all unplugged.
You have just said almost word for word what I said in a statement, I think it was last year. I don't know if it was with you, Skyler, but I said the music today is not music. Music is from the heart, it's from the soul, and that's how soul music is born, and it goes forward. Yeah. It's not synthesized crap, it's not this. I've been in trouble so many times for saying my piece about today's music. It's not real. Sold off left, right, and center.
I never, ever knock these young kids and their talent because they do have talent. Some of these young kids, I mean, the things that they can make that computer do, the things that they can do with their voice, it's hard to imagine.
Yeah.
In our day, we could have never done it.
No, if you didn't show up with the bass, you didn't have bass.
That's right.
True.
And now there are kids that can take 8 beats and make a song.
Yeah. That's right.
And then they're talented enough to carry you through it and make you feel the change. And it doesn't change at all. Yeah. So you have to take your hat off to them. You know, there is a degree of difficulty in their music.
There is.
I love it. I like to listen to it. Make me think I can drop it down.
What were you going to say there, Skyler?
It's great what the kids have and what they created after 1996 when the internet was launched in 1996. So just think about all the kids after 1996. They really don't know what the human sound is about. And so I'm an activist, and I'm out here. There's nothing that competes with the human sound because that's spontaneous at its point. You know what I'm saying? Whatever's coming out of your heart at that minute happens. With the computer, you have to program your thoughts in and manipulate sounds and all that stuff. But when a human steps up there, it's a totally different thing. And then when you got 5 or 6 human beings that's been practicing all day and they come together, that's another sound.
It is. Yeah, it's true. Right, Ronald. Quick one for you. Finally, because we are. This has been one of the best interviews ever. Next to Skyler's, because it's been lasted well and it's gone really well. Next to Skyler. I'm going to say that because Skyler's on this next to Skyler. I'm going to say that.
Next to Skyler,
Better than Skyler. Oh no, it's not really. Oh whoa, what? No,
that's okay. Sir, I got some friends around here somewhere.
I'm one.
Ronald, so quick one for you, mate. How can people follow you and follow your music?
Well, I'll tell you something. I tell you something. I got since I've been out of the group, I got maybe 50 songs that I'm writing.
Yep.
And I'm always writing. I got a recording studio at my house. I'm always writing. But I am one who was always, up until now, thinking that one day the Commodores were going to get back together, and I was going to be ready for that day. And I've always been a group player. You know, I would never jump off into a battle by myself. I always need to have company and backup, and that's the way I was raised, and that's the way that I think it's easy. Because for one person to bear the blunt of everything, the worry, the success, the work, the time, everyone to do that.
Yeah, true.
You miss something sometimes. You know, you miss something sometimes.
Yeah.
So
as a group,
as a group, when I'm not on, another one's on, and he'll drag me along. When he's not on, I'll drag him, or somebody will drag the call. You know, and that way you take advantage of many hands make light work. You know?
There you go.
And it's easier with a group, but it's got to be somebody who care for you, somebody who thinks about you, somebody who takes care of you and themselves, and you got to feel that about them. And that's just the way that I am. Thank God, that's the way that I am. So when it comes to contacting me, you probably have to go onto my Facebook page, and I may be sitting in the car practicing a song, and you'll see one of the songs that I'm doing. But I'm waiting for that day. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. So now Skyler and I are planning to do something together.
Well, that's it. Well, you see, that's two. You've got two of the Commodores right there. So if this gets out, maybe when Skyler and Ron are doing it, why can't we get some other members of the band together and just do a jam or whatever? You know what I mean? Just get out and just do it.
Yeah.
This is going to be fantastic. Right. Finally, guys, all right. Quick one from you, Ronald. Have you got anything further to add? Anything else you'd like to add before we say goodbye?
There's nothing I can add other than the fact that it is wonderful to be here in London, to be inspired by the UK, and really and truly, it has really fired me up. You know, I think I'm a little bit embarrassed because I've been sitting back and waiting, and London has been moving on. Yeah. I like to see that, and it's very inspirational for me. And it was great to catch up with Skyler.
Oh, I love you, brother. Thank you, man.
I haven't seen him.
Cool.
Seen him since he was a little boy. Watch out.
I
haven't seen him since he was a little boy, 20 years old. And Yeah, so now he's a grown man, and I'm afraid of him.
Grown man just out of prison. That's it. Skyler, what about you, mate?
Yes.
Anything from you?
Oh, like I said, same with me, man. Like I say, he's my mentor. I love him. He's taught me so much in music. I mean, just like I could never repay him all the beautiful stuff he's taught me. He's such an amazing storyteller at that, and it's all true. And but you know, as you know, after all these years, I've been doing other stuff, doing records and touring with Sly and Family Stone and other. But at the same time, man, people can catch me at Music for Global Change. I'm a music activist, and I'm out there pushing the human sound and how we can heal and solve problems and, you know, change things that we couldn't change before, like take age discrimination out of music, take image out of music, you know what I mean? And they have nothing to do, and racism, take that out of music. They have nothing to do with the sound of music. So you can catch me at musicforglobalchange.com. And Steve, like I said, thanks for having my dearest brother on your show, man. That's really beautiful.
Man, the pleasure was all mine. I loved every minute with both these guys. Honestly, it was absolutely brilliant. Once again, Skyler, Ronald, many thanks for joining us here on Soul Sensations on Soul Radio USA. Cheers, guys.
Thank you, Steve. Yep.
Yeah, and
God bless you.
Thank all your fans, too. All right, brother.
Yep. I will. Cheers, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.